Going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel for another stream. What up, Beanie? Hey, all right, everybody. Good chance we're probably gonna start working on our first script for the first actual video. What up, Albino Ham? How we doing, man? Maybe. I know we're gonna talk about things first before anything, but we might. I don't know. It just depends on how the next few hours go. I never like to give full on guarantee, but I label this 5 Nights at Freddy's 4 because if we do start working on it, we're gonna be working on it. I wanna get everything together, and I wanna say everything to you guys that I think goes into the video, and then you guys let me know how sane I sound, and we go from there, right? Like sounds reasonable. Sounds like a good plan. You guys will be how I test the waters on this. A lot of you know what the theory is. I mean, most of you guys should. You guys voted on it. Isn't insane. That's impossible. But you know what I mean. Like, does it make sense? Does it hold water to you? And what can I tell you to change your mind? Okay. Wait. $2 months. Which Apple TV? Yeah. Anyways, yeah. No theorist system. That is 100% true. That is gospel right there. But anyways, yeah. I was trying to think of what I would want to do as a short today too. Another short. They're not doing too hot most of the time. I should have put that in the fridge. I'd like that to be a little bit colder. But I mean, they're doing all right. I'm sure they would start picking up eventually. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, the Uncanny Valley thing. That's cool. Yeah, the Uncanny Valley. The Uncanny Valley is such a cool concept for anyone who doesn't understand that. Or Sammy is so Sammy is Golden Freddy basically. And this is my thing about this is what I'm gonna say about this, and if people don't like it, that's their own fair point. But I do believe in the Golden Freddy and Fredbear are the same. That Fredbear, I mean, it's not a big change. Like, it's not a huge change. All it was a bow tie and a hat. Like, if it was a fundamental characteristic about Fredbear that had to be changed in order for him to be Golden Freddy, that's a different story. But in order for Fredbear to become Golden Freddy, it's the color of his accessories. Those aren't hard things to take off and put other ones on. You know, it could have been a situation as easy as they needed another bow tie and hat, and this suit's been decommissioned. Like the different batch for sister location. What do you mean? Oh, there's like a small difference, like the different batch for sister. I mean, yeah, like Funtime Freddy is obviously way different from regular Freddy, but like I think Fredbear versus Golden Freddy, like it's not that big of a difference. Like hold on. Fredbear. Like this is, yeah, like it even less Fnaf 2 Fredbear. has the black hat and the black. It looks. I mean, it's there. You go. Like unnightmare Fredbear. I love that. UCN Fredbear. Yeah. Like it's just the color change is all it is, and it's not even a difficult one to make. To make Golden Freddy, that's all it is. Is they swap out a purple bow tie and hat. Like small difference. Yeah, exactly. So for that, for people to be like, no, because that's not Golden Freddy, that's Fredbear, so that can't be. It's like, yeah, it can. It's a between FNAF 2 and the bite of it and bite victim is 4 years, and then between bite victim and FNAF 1 is almost a decade. Actually, it is a decade. If what we believe is correct, it happens in 93. I still like 92, but 93 is it doesn't matter. Either year it works, and I don't need to go into super specifics on it, but either year works. And if it happens in 93, then it doesn't. It's a 10-year difference. You're telling me Henry or someone else working on these animatronics or coming in to look at them or something may not have made a quick swap of a bow tie and a hat. They probably come off with like 2 bolts. Like, I don't think that is a strong enough argument to say that it's impossible. And I know some people will do that. I know some people will make that argument. They're like, no, it's different hat and tie. It's like, okay, cool. Because in my own personal headcanon, I think Henry fixed up the animatronics that are possessed, well, that the spirits possess. I think right here, these spirits, they got out of their, because William Afton destroys their endoskeleton, right? I think they're technically now wandering spirits again because they don't have an endo to possess. So I think he gets spring trapped. They're wandering free essentially. Henry finds all 4 of them here and William in the back, and he puts new endoskeletons into them. Well, not new as in spare endos. They're the spare endo ones that they have. So they put all 4 of them in them, and he's able to fix up Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, but he didn't have enough leftover material of Foxy, because Foxy was new when everything started going down. So I don't know how much backlogged extra stuff they had for Foxy to begin with, and that's probably why when he breaks down, he goes down for so long versus everybody else. He has different fabric and stuff for his exterior that they don't have in backstock because Foxy is the newest one. Have to like order it or something. I don't know, something like that. It's a business thing because that's what happens. Business stuff happens. But anyways, besides the point. So Henry finds all 4 animatronics over here, and he finds William here. So he orders that this room get boarded up immediately. You're not allowed to go in and get your stuff. If you left anything in there, too bad. That's your own fault. Whatever. And then he finds the 4 animatronics. He fixes them back up, putting Endo 1s into their suits to bring them back. And ends up, he has to use spare fabric and stuff. So that's why we end up losing the buttons on Bonnie and Freddy, and they go back to being Endo 1s, and the kids possess the Endo 1 skeletons. And that's why in FNAF 1 we have kids in suits, I mean in the animatronic stand. How many years does William Afton spend in that wall? Roughly 30. Roughly 30 years he is in that wall, which makes sense. So it makes sense if you go with the rest of my headcanon. Because in my headcanon, in my theorizing, Charlie is last. But Charlie, because the way that Charlie dies compared to the others, Charlie is the one who learns how to possess animatronics as a spirit. And then teaches that to the other kids. And that's how she gives life. She teaches them. She doesn't I know a lot of people thought that she physically put them. Well, he does. I mean, he goes and he's dead though. He's a spirit that's stuck there. 1979 Fredbear's opening, 83 CC Death, 86 87 Murder Set 1 Bite of 87, 1991 93 Second Set of Murders and Springlock Incident, including Mike's first FNAF shift, 2000 Mike Scoop, 2020 FNAF 3, 2030 FNAF 6. No, okay, no, because because so how do I say this in a nice way? Can't be. Unfortunately, albino ham. I can't agree with that one. Can't agree with that one because we know that we know that FNAF 2 is the second set of kids being murdered, right? So the second set can't be in 91, 93. It has to be in 87. Yeah, no, you're good. No, because here's the problem. Here's your problem, albino. If that's the case, this is your first missing kids incident victim right here. This is your first one. Because there's no one else, right? There's no one else. You have Susie, Fritz, Gabriel, and Jeremy. Those are your four that we know for sure are part of the missing children's incident. But there are 5 kids that are involved in that. And you can't use Charlie and you can't use Crying Child because they're both accounted for. They're not missing children. They are found dead children, right? Cassidy gets bit, ends up in a coma, and then dies. Charlie gets murdered by William in the alley outside of the pizzeria and is assumed to be a victim of like some other crime, obviously not a William Afton, Golden Bonnie, Springtrap Bonnie suit victim, right? Neither of them classify. The only one that would classify would be this one because they're all brought to the back, murdered, hidden in a suit, and then their bodies are probably taken care of at some point later on. William's family died yet, which is what made me think too hard. So that's the thing, is a lot of people, and I agree with Matt Pat. Well, technically Matt Pat agrees with me because I did technically officially say this before he did in a video. One of my first streams was like 4 or 5 days before the latest game theory about FNAF came out, and I have been saying from that first one that what if William just likes murking kids? What's the first location? I think it's this right here. So a lot of people, so one of the biggest arguments in the FNAF community is whether the location in FNAF 4 is a Fredbear's Family Diner or if it's the first the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location. There are signs that it could be both, right? So there are signs that it could be both, right? There is signs that it could be a Fredbear's Family Diner because Fredbear obviously is here and Golden Bonnie is here, and those are both suits that were supposed to be at Fredbear's specifically because of the books. That's what it tells us. But also FNAF 3 phone guy right here actually says yeah, go back in. We have, yeah. So phone guy right here says, "Welcome to your new career as a performer entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. These tapes will provide you with much needed information on how to handle, climb into, climb out of mascot costumes. Right now, we have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronics and suits. So please pay attention. Please pay close attention while learning how to operate these suits, as accident, injuries, death, irreparable, and grotesque maiming can occur." So that basically makes this very ambiguous on whether or not this is a Fredbear's Family Diner or if it's a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, because it can technically be both. May have been Freddy Jr.'s, aka FNAF 2. They had the spring locks in the back. So this is the thing about that, is this can't be FNAF 2 location for sure. It's too early in the timeline. FNAF, you gotta remember, FNAF 2 was a grand reopening, or it was a grand reopening, but we believe that it's a new location. I have a different theory on what FNAF 2 location actually is, but it's not. What we do know is that we're pretty sure it's not this location. That would put way too many things in one place, and we have to have a little bit of separation. And FNAF 2 location seems to be the separation point that everyone's okay with saying, okay, this particular restaurant is definitely not the same one as all the other ones. Because as of right now, one of my working theories at this is that this is both. That this is both a Fredbear Family Diner. What's up, Cross? That is in the process of being converted into a is the Fredbear Family Diner that is being converted into the Freddy Fazbear Pizza, like turning into the FNAF 1 location. That is a theory that has merit that we can look at the possibilities for. What up, Matthew James? I feel like FNAF 2 is Juniors, but rebranded somewhat after or before Charlie's death. I don't think Juniors... So here's my thing, is I don't think Juniors has anything to do with the Freddy Fazbear location unless it's Fredbear's Family Diner turned back into a bar. Okay, go for it, Beanie. Awesome. Sounds cool, man. The, like, that's the one thing, is I don't think that Juniors the bar is anything unless it is a Fredbear Family Diner turned back into a bar. Because in the books, it does tell us that Fredbear's Family Diner originally was a bar, and it was sold to Henry, and turned into a Fredbear's Family Diner. So technically, Juniors has the ability to have been a Fredbear's Family Diner, but it wouldn't make sense because pretty much every location that we've learned of Freddy's has been shut down and never turned into anything else, besides the one pizza place that happens in Into the Pit. Every other scenario that we have, we've more ran into this situation where there is a night guard watching an abandoned pizza place because the animatronics are still being stored there. So Henry could have just sold it, but the working theory right now is that Henry goes to jail, and so there's no way he could sell it. William would have to sell it, I guess, or the corporation itself would have to sell it. Do you think you could check out my theory I will be posting? It will be on our game theory. I will have the link probably next. Oh yeah, we can read it. I've thought about I've been considering looking. Otherwise, buy. Okay, yes, albino. Fine, yes. At some point, I might look at it. Yes, but anyways, I have considered looking at FNAF theories on stream, but then whenever I read the Reddits and stuff, I'll be honest. The actual FNAF Reddit is really mean. It's just full of people who just do not want to listen to anyone else's theories. They just, like, you say, hey, but what about this? And they go, no, that's impossible. It's like, okay, but for what reason? It's impossible. That's what we've decided, is that it's impossible. But do you have reasons for it being impossible? Well, it just sounds dumb. It's like, okay, but here's my reasons on why it could be a thing. And they're like, no, that's not possible. Like, okay, why? Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. With the FNAF 1 posters. Yeah. So yeah. So my thing is that I'm. This is what I want to play with. The theory that I want to play with, and it's not the one that I'm doing right now, but it's a theory that I want to play with later on for maybe a second or third or fourth video, whatever. Because I want to do the Fritz is Midnight Motorist, like Fritz's story is Midnight Motorist. I want to play with that theory also for a video. Group a while ago, I left for that very reason. Yeah, that people agree. FNAF Reddit is fundamentally toxic. It is. It really is. I go in there and I look at stuff, and it's just bad. I go to Game Theorist, and that's a lot better. Yeah, exactly. Well, part of it is like people. It's what it is people just get something in their head as being true, and they don't want anyone to burst their bubble because it makes them feel smart to have figured it out. But then to have learned that they didn't actually figure it out, they feel dumb. I don't have that problem. One second. I don't personally have that problem. If you figure out that I'm wrong and you're right, I'm happy about that because that makes it easier on me to make more theories. Because if you can prove to me that I'm wrong, that's one less road for me to go down that's not the right road. That's one less path That's one less door that I can close. It's like, so it's like I'm crafting a theory, right? And I have these 4 doors. You know, you have 4 different paths you can go down. If I tell you about this path right here, right, and you give me factual information on why this path is wrong, you just narrowed down my options, but in a way that means I'm getting closer to the truth. So one person proves to me that this is impossible, so I don't do it anymore. Then another person tells me this one's impossible, so I don't use it anymore, right? Then someone proves to me that this one's wrong, so I start running with this one, and nobody tells me that this is wrong. And that's when I get my theory, and I go, this is probably right. This is exactly what I did with Sammy. With the Sammy theory, I have nobody that can prove to me that Sammy can't be the kid that's inside the suit, other than saying, well, Sammy doesn't exist. The only evidence that anyone has ever given me that Sammy can't be the kid inside the gold Freddy suit is that Scott himself has never said that that's who it is. But here's my thing. My theory on that is that we've never said it, so why would Scott? Scott's only ever confirmed in future games things that we're already theorizing or clarifying something that we're kind of confused on. Could Scott have used the theory for his games? Absolutely. Who knows? Scott can do whatever he wants. It's his games. It's his game series. If he decides, oh, this game theory is super dope, I'm going to go with it. Crying Child never got a name. Crying Child has a name. Crying Child's name is Cassidy. And I'll take that to the grave. I'll take that to the grave until Scott himself comes out and says, no, his name's not Cassidy. I'll take it to the grave. It makes a lot of sense. So here's the other thing, though. And this is the piece of information that I have been holding on to. Evan is not the name. Don't ever say Evan is the name of Crying Child, Aldo. That is incorrect. That is hogwash. That has been proven to be false information. That is one thing that I don't respect, is people who theorize using Evan as the name of the Crying Child. The way that they got Evan was that they did one cipher and they found an E. Then they did another cipher, they found a V. Then they did another cipher, it gave him an A. And then they said, well, that's really close to Evan, so something else will probably give us the N. So that means that's the name, right? But no. But, yeah. Evan is a stretch for the idea that, yeah, exactly. So instead, you look at Cassidy, you get C, you get A, you get S, S, I, D, Y. And people are like, so Raitos, for instance, it was his theory that really made me annoyed with some of this, because I just will call him CC until a lot more. So here we go. Here you go, Albino. Here's your proof. From FNAF Reddit, the most toxic theorist from FNAF, I have no idea. I don't know who the most toxic is. I haven't been in there for that long. I joined recently when I started doing these videos all the time. That's when I started hopping in. So I don't have a big history in there. But here's all the clues for Cassidy, right? So the first clue is that, 1, all the clues are given by Altered Text and by Mike. Okay, Altered and Mike give every clue. Altered and Mike clues. So let me ask you this. In a situation where you're getting somebody's name, why would Altered and Mike know the name of a random kid? Okay? Now, if we want to say that the kid is, that vengeful spirit is Sammy, Henry's son, and that he would have been friends with CC and he would have been babysat or known by Mike, then you can get a little bit more credit. You can get a little bit more credit from me for these clues giving that kid's name. Right? So that's the first part, is that all the clues are coming from Altered and Mike. Why would they know the name of a random kid? Why would they be like, oh, your name is Cassidy. Don't you remember that? Why would that? Yeah, Altered Text is the one that says I can't see. Altered Text is the one that's being told that it was their, the party was for them. These were your favorite toys. Blah blah. Like all the information given to Altered Text is information about them being the Crying Child. It's all information that tells you that they were crying child, right? So altered is clearly crying child. We are giving that information. We are saying this is it. This is the thing. This is crying child, right? So here we go. I have it. Where do I have it at? I have everything everywhere right now. Oh, logbook. Here we go. So here's my second piece of information about this. If this is the part that really annoys me. It's like, okay, so alter text. We're saying alter. Wait, is alter text or faded text CC? Altered text is CC. Okay. We won't get into that right now, Aldo, because that'll take us off on a way different tangent. The faded text is literally this Cassidy kid. No. That's what I'm trying to say, Cross, is that he's not, right? So in this page specifically, faded says, "What do you see?" And crying child responds back to him in the word search, "It's me, Cassidy. Who are you? What is your name?" And some people want to say that "who are you and what is your name" is coming from faded text. How is that possible? We have established that all of the altered text in this logbook belongs to crying child, not to faded. Faded text doesn't get to all of a sudden change. Yes, altered text is the bite victim, aka crying child. Faded text is mystery kid number 5, or as I like to refer to him, the Golden Freddy suit / Sammy. But anyways, so believe that. That's why CC says I can't see. So, but this is the thing. Like, if you look at this, so look, some people are trying to say, and this is where people are like, oh, this is why we know that this is actually faded, who is Cassidy, not the other kid or whatnot. And it's like all this other stuff. Like, what makes sense is that all of this belongs to altered text. So if altered text just gave the kid their name, right? Something from Foxy's. Yeah. Foxy's the Foxy grid. They got EVA doing some ciphers, and then they were like, well, N would probably go there too to make Evan, right? So it doesn't make sense. It's bullshit. It's a really dumb theory on how to get Evan, and Evan doesn't make any sense. Evan's not mentioned anywhere else. And it's saying, who are you? Who are you? What is your name? It's me, Cass. It looks more like, because the first thing you get out of this whole thing is "it's me." That's the first words you get in this whole crossword. You go, "It's me, Cassidy. Who are you? What is your name?" In response to faded text down here, which is really hard to see, but faded text down here says, "What do you see? It's me, Cassidy. Who are you? What is your name?" Why would Cassidy be asking someone their name if he just gave them their name? No, it's not Charlotte. We're by what we see here in the logbook itself, we have a fairly good belief that it is Vengeful Spirit, that is VS, Golden Freddy. I will say this: I do like two things from Rytos's most recent theory. I like the drowning analogy for Vengeful Spirit's death, that Vengeful Spirit died in a more horrific way than the rest, and that's why he's a Vengeful Spirit, that he died to a spring lock, which, what do we see here? We see a child in a spring lock suit who probably got sprung, and we know from the books that when you get spring locked, you drown in your own blood while suffering from pain and the inability to speak because your lungs have been crushed and filled with your own blood, and that you slowly drown while feeling agony through your entire body. This kid died the most horrific death possible, and there is a chance that it was an accident. We gotta get you a map out. Like, there is a chance that it was an accident, that William didn't technically mean to kill him. He just got mad at him and like threw him in the suit or something to like scare him, and that the suit triggered off. Because you gotta remember, before this, they knew that there was a risk, but nothing had ever happened. Right? Like, nothing had actually happened to the point where someone had died yet. So William probably didn't actually fully understand the suits because they weren't his. He didn't make these. Henry made these. So he knew they were dangerous, but he didn't know how dangerous they really were. maybe, and this is all like this is all me just fucking around. Yeah, you get EVA for bite victim, but you use the letter D and you get Evad, or Dave backwards. See, none of it makes sense. The Foxy Grid at this point is just a mystery gone, right? Um, but here's, you use the mirror and you get the name Dave. So, I mean, I guess, but Dave is the name of the guard, is the name that William uses as a guard in the Silver Eyes series. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Oh fuck. Hold on. Oh. What's one consistency in every game? In the first games, anyways. What's the consistency of the first games? Name Sire Squawks. That's cool. No. What's the consistency though? It's not just Jeremy. Their name isn't always Jeremy. In the first two games, the three guard names we get are Mike Schmitz, Jeremy Fitzgerald, Fritz Smith. Right? Those are three names. No. They don't die. That's the thing, is I don't believe any of the guards that no one that we play as dies, in my opinion. Alex, what's going on? I don't know. So, what are all three of those? All three of those, in the end, are victims of William in one way or another. They are used as William's way or Michael's way of hiding their identity. Right? So you play as Mike playing as Jeremy, or William pretending to be Fritz, or potentially William being Michael, or Michael being Michael, whatever. But they all have names. The guards are always, so far, every guard name that we've gotten from any of the games has been a guard named after a victim of Michael. I mean, a victim of William. Michael is technically a victim of William. Michael is sent into Sister Location and he dies. He is a victim of William secondhand, but he's still a victim. Right? Michael is still technically a victim of William. His death is still at the hands of William in the long game, right? The only other time in the series so far, and until we get to by FNAF 4 or by FNAF 7, yeah, then there's three Jeremy. No. That's the thing. Fritz and Jeremy, the guards, are aliases. They're not real people. Jeremy is Michael, and Fritz is William. Right? They're just aliases, and Michael Schmidt is still an alias for Michael Afton. He just changes his last name but uses the same first name because they don't want the company to know that they themselves are posing as the guards, right? There's only one other time until way later in the FAR books, but in the time frame that we're existing in, there's only one other time that a guard is giving a fake name. And that fake name is Dave. Right? The fake name is Dave. The name that Cross just gave us. For Mike's mother. Yeah, because then the movie implies that and all that. So, as the last name, it could just be he gave a fake last name or something like that. It is what it is. But the point is every guard that we know of so far is named after a victim. Like, it's either their real name or it's an alias, but the name is always a name that is also the name of a victim of Williams in the games. So, we could play with the idea that this kid's name is Dave, and it would fit the MO of William Afton, William or Michael, the night guard always having a name of a victim. On the second FNAF movie, I think I saw a fan. I saw a fan trailer that was made that honestly sounds like a dope way of making the second movie. Vanessa and Mike team up, and she like talks about the fact that that wasn't the only location that William did what he did, and Mike is like, we have to go and help these kids there too, right? So then the entire second movie can be about them going to the FNAF 2 location and figuring out how to save those kids, because maybe it's not in the same way. Be like a video game. You have a generic task, but in order to accomplish it in different areas, there's different things you actually have to do. So maybe in the second location, they have to do something different. There's more if he just knows about those 5. What? No, that's what I'm. What? How will he know there's more if he just knows about those 5? What, in the movies? No, that's what I mean. What if Vanessa tells Michael, my dad has done this at other locations, that this wasn't the only location that this was done at? So then Mike goes, let's go, we have to go fix this. Oh, the FNAF cinematic continuity, wait until the movie trilogy is complete. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not a big movie theorist, because movies are vastly different than video games. They have their own logic stream, and funny enough, I probably could predict it better because that's what my background is actually in. It's in script writing for stage and screen, not for video games. So like that's what my formal education is in writing and developing scripts and characters for stage and screen, not for games. So I could probably do a pretty good job. Most movies that I watch, I get about 30 minutes in and I know where it's going. And there's been very few movies that could give me a twist ending that I didn't see coming. Funny enough, Donnie Darko. That's one that got me. Won't mention the fact that I was like 13 at the time and had not gone to school yet for script writing, but still. But yeah, but no, I don't mess with movies because they can do what they want. Do you think that Vanessa is an Easter egg or an intentionally placed character? No, she's intentionally placed. I think Vanessa's a robot. I fully agree with Matt Pat that Vanessa's going to be a robot in the movies. He had some pretty startling good evidence to that by using the novelization of the movie to prove it. Again, another book in the FNAF universe is the book that is the novelization of the movie. And in the book, there are multiple references to Vanessa being very robot-like, or very like her attitude and her mannerisms swapping very quickly between very natural and very robotic and stuff like that. Her eyes shifting color when this happens too. So there's a lot to do with that. So, but yeah, Cross. I guess there is an argument for calling this kid Dave, which is still doesn't mean that my argument's wrong. Dave could be the name of Charlie's twin brother in the game series instead of Sammy. He could have decided to use a different name. Vanessa only shoots Afton once, right? Only shoots him once. And then after that, she physically can't seem to bring herself to shoot him again, even though he's literally coming at her with a knife. Like, she was able to override her program just long enough to get a shot off, but then her program kicked back in and locked her up. And then she got stabbed. Like, come on. I don't know about you, but someone comes at me with a knife, I'm definitely shooting them more than once. I'm not shooting them once going, oh, that didn't work. So, if you guys are new to the stream, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to the 500 number. We have 25 subscribers left to go. I appreciate everyone who has shown up. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't yet. I like how it's always like, do you want to subscribe to this channel? It's my channel. I can't subscribe to it. Why does the spring locks failed when Vanessa shoots William Afton? Why do they, or why don't they? Because I don't think they did. They? I don't think they did. I just watched this movie like not even a month, not even a couple of weeks ago. Don't. Yeah, they don't. Because she shot. I think she shot him in a specific spot. So I don't know. Think that he wants to use multiple characters from one to another, but Cassidy, I think, is the only one that crosses from books to games. No, 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 no. No. Susie is the name of one of the victims in both the game, the book, and potentially the movie. Can't remember. But I know book and game they cross over. Cassidy is the name that's used in both the game and in the books. Michael is used in both the game and the book. Jeremy is not one of the victims in the book. Or wait, yeah, he is. Him and Gabriel are. Or no, hold on, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the Silver Eyes victims' names. Silver Eyes novel victims names. Give me it right here. Finance Phrase novel trilogy. Let's see. Victims. Hold on. Susie, Cassidy, Fritz, Gabriel, Michael. Michael, Cassidy, Susie, Fritz, and Gabriel. So Michael and Cassidy. Michael replaces Vengeful Spirit. Cassidy replaces Jeremy. That they're novel only character. Is there novel only characters? There is. No, not of the victims. Not of the victims, because Michael Brooks is obviously a stand-in, is obviously where Michael Afton's name ends up in the books, because William only has one kid, and that's Elizabeth. Cassidy, being Crying Child, also gets to replace Jeremy in the lineup of victims, so that way he replaces Jeremy, so Cassidy is in both the book and the games. No, there is no book-specific characters anymore, because Charlie ends up being the puppet, Elizabeth Afton is Baby, Susie's dog is in the game, Henry dies in the books, and in the games at some point. I mean, obviously, like, Officer Dunn, but that guy barely counts. There's all these guys. Yeah. Tracy Horton. Don't know who that is. Unnamed man, unnamed woman, unnamed man. Yeah. So I haven't read this one all the way through. Jenny Emily. Who's Jen? Oh. Jenny Emily is the aunt. William Afton Springtrap. Amalgamation. New Freddy Mango. 3 Baby Crawler. Yeah. So there you go. And that could help your Cassidy's brother theory. Well, what I'm saying is that there's novel only, and that could help your Cassidy's brother theory. No, Charlie's brother. Charlie's brother. Cassidy, I think, is William Afton's youngest child. This kid, I believe, is Cassidy. This kid, I believe, I think his name's Sammy, but now there is an argument for his name being Dave, if Dave really is the solving of the Foxy grid. But Sammy is still what I'm going to go with for right now. I'd have to watch the actual solving of the Foxy grid and get a feel on whether or not I want to trust it, because it doesn't seem like anyone's actually had real good success with it, and it feels like it's just weird. Wasn't saying Dave is the kid in the Fredbear suit. I know you're saying that the kid's name, that this would be Dave, but I don't. But this is 100% Cassidy in my mind. Like this kid 100% Cassidy in my mind. Again, the main reason for it is this: there's no like all of Ultra Text has to be Crying Child. We can't take parts of it and give it to the other kid just to make our theories work, right? Like, we have to follow the rules, and the rules state that all Ultra Text is Crying Child. So why would Crying Child give somebody else why would the Crying Child remember someone else's name better than their own name? 2, why would Mike know a random kid's name and give the random kid their name before giving his own brother his name, right? 2. 3, why would Alter Text give somebody else their name, but then ask them what is their name? You know, who are you? What is your name? It's me, Cassidy. Like all that. No. I'm not antagonizing a theory. I'm pointing out the rules that people are ignoring in order to make their theory right. They're not following our rules. Like, alter text in this is all supposed to be crying child by what everybody agreed to in the beginning. We all agreed that alter text has to be crying child. So why are we now moving some of the text that's clearly alter text to being faded text words, so that way we get Cassidy being faded text instead? Plus, also, again, Cassidy is a common British male name, so Cassidy being British and having a British male name makes a lot more sense than this random other male kid from America. Yeah. Okay, I kind of assume that's shown in Reddit most of the... Yeah, no. But also Cassidy is a common British male name. In America, Cassidy is a common girl's name, right? So why would the American kid, or we assume is the American kid, why would he have the boy named Cassidy? Why would it be more likely that he has it than the British kid having Cassidy as their name? Like, a lot of things line up for Cassidy being the crying child, one of them being his nationality, right? So a lot of things add up to Cassidy being the name of crying child, not the name of faded or vengeful spirit or whatever you want to call him. William is British. We know for a fact Blimpy, he could be. If you can give me proof that Blimpy Afton is his name that supersedes the Cassidy theory, I'm all for you. I'm all for it. That is my thing, though. It's like, I'm not telling you you're wrong. If you can give me better evidence for something else, I'll take it. But I don't see the evidence for faded text being Cassidy as being stronger. Like, the strongest point that someone's made was Raitos pointing out that on every page that you get the clue, faded text says, like, my name. Which I get that. You know, maybe that's cool. But again, all the faded text, all the clues are coming from Crying Child's altered text or Mike's text. So, wait, what? How do we know that? Oh, sister location. Sister location. William has a British accent. Michael has a British accent. Elizabeth has a British accent. All in that game. It's confirmed. It's 100% confirmed. William is biological British. The voice actor wanted William's voice to sound more devilish. Yes, but Elizabeth and Michael have British accents too. They all three have British accents. It is very defined in sister location that they are British. Like, it's a done deal in that game that they have to be British. Yeah. If you want to say that William isn't British, that's fine. But we have to clarify then that Mrs. Afton had to have been British, because one of their parents has to be British in order for Michael and Elizabeth to both be British. Right? Wanted William to have a British accent to be more interesting as villain, or Scott wanted William to be British. You gotta remember, at the end of the day, Scott's the one who signed off on the voice acting. Like, that's like I've looked into voice acting, and I've done stuff in college for not voice acting, but for voiceovers for other things, and for doing radio and stuff. The person who hires you will sign off on everything you do. You don't get to just make choices and they put you in the game and then notice afterwards, wait, yeah. He had to have. I don't know if he intended before the voice acting happened, but he signed off on it, which means... Yeah, exactly. So Scott said, yes, British accent, so they are now British. He signed off on it, so the Aftons are British. So in that again gives me another point towards Cassidy's name being the name of the crying child, not the name of random kid in a suit, because Cassidy is defined as being British, which means him having a common male British name like Cassidy makes sense. Also, the other three Aftons have very British names. William, Elizabeth, and Michael, very British names, especially Elizabeth. But Michael and William are both very British names, very common UK British names. Cassidy isn't a common British name, but it is more male used in the UK than it is in America. In America, Cassidy tends to be a girl, which I believe, or Miss Afton isn't British. Or, yeah, Miss Afton could not be British, but that wouldn't stop them from being like the rest of the kids. Like all the kids are still British and would still have the potential to have British names, right? Because if the timeline's correct, they would have all but maybe Elizabeth been born in the UK and moved to America. So what's Mrs. Afton's name, since we're in a guessing game? I fucking no idea. No idea. Mrs. Afton's name is the farthest from anybody's mind, because let's be honest, no one cares about her. She isn't in the games. She has no backstory relevance in so far in theories. Nothing has hinted to her being important in any way, shape, or form. So there's nothing to take to make her have a name at all. She's Mrs. Afton. Like, that's about it. She's so unimportant, they can't even keep her hair color straight in the novelizations. In the graphic novels and then in other things, they can't even keep her name straight. Yeah, so that's the only thing. It's like the name Schmidt originated from Scottish, German, France. So there you go. So they could be, so they could have Scottish origins but be from Britain, obviously. So yeah, Michael's mom's maiden name could have been Schmidt. She could have been originally Schmidt and then became an Afton, and he took his mother's maiden name in order to pose as a guard without people realizing who he was. Because there is a theory that FNAF 1 is post Michael scooped, right? There is some argument. Yeah, maybe Scottish because of Scott Cotham. They could, yeah. They don't have Scottish accents, though. They are definitely British. Like, their accents are definitely British, but they could be of Scottish, French descendants. Yeah, but no, there is an argument to think that FNAF 1 is post Scoop Michael, right? Because you can make an argument that sister location happens before FNAF 1. There is a large enough gap between FNAF 2 and FNAF 1 to give you that argument. And there is the whole, if we want to have the sprites count as being like they have to follow rules too, but even then, even if you don't want to count the sprites, just in general, if you just want to count the fact that the FNAF 2 animatronics and the FNAF 1 animatronics, the withered animatronics in FNAF 2 are said that they are going to get refurbished and then be used in a restaurant later. On the table. What? To be honest, do we even see Miss Emily? Yeah, so Miss Emily in the Silver Eyes, right, takes Sammy, this twin brother of Charlie, and leaves Henry. She is in it. She has literal dialogue in a flashback scene and stuff. She exists, right? And she takes Sammy and leaves Henry with Sammy for Sammy's safety or something like that. I don't know. Is acknowledged in she exists. There's memory of her. There's dialogue from her. There is an entire explanation on why she's not in the story anymore, but she does exist. Henry did have a wife, and she left him and took their son Sammy with him. What's up? I love your stream. It is quite entertaining. Keep it up. Thank you, Tomato. I appreciate that. I didn't know it was in the first. Yeah, it's in the very first book. It's in the first half of the first book. But yeah, that is a thing that is known. But anyways, yeah. So hold on. I need FNAF 2. FNAF 2 animatronic. Right. FNAF 2 animatronics. Give me that images. Give me them images. Right. The FNAF 2 animatronics. We have the Wizards with buttons. You know, whatnots. All good. Golden Freddy, all of them. So these 5 right here, all fucked up looking and everything. And then we have the FNAF 1 animatronics. Images. I don't know. I don't think this is an official one, but it's fine. It's technically what they look like. No buttons. No buttons. They're all cleaned up and looking better. So between FNAF 2 and FNAF 1, they obviously get refurbed. Okay? And their buttons are missing. So my theory is that where's it at? This happens between FNAF 2 and FNAF 1, and William ripping their endos out of them and damaging them again causes their suits to be repaired, but no buttons, but the buttons to go missing and all that stuff. And I think it's Henry who finds them. Hello, I came back from picking my dad and brother up, but I broke my tumbler. Ooh, that sucks, Snowy. Hello, Alessandro. How are you doing today? Right? So that's my own personal stuff. If you guys have different theories on it, that's fine. That's cool. But that's also why I'm if to be the most lenient on everyone's beliefs. I'm playing around with this new idea that this could be Fredbear's Family Diner being converted into the FNAF 1 location, right? That it originally starts as Fredbear Family Diner, but gets shifted into the Fredbear 1 location, right? Wait, I don't know. Anyway, all the ways, right? And the reason I say that is because of this image right, not this image right here. This image right here. If this is the Fredbear Family Diner and gets converted into a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza post bite, and it's where all 5 victims take place, then this is the thing. Because we know this takes place in the FNAF 1 location. This is the FNAF 1 location. We know this. These guys get broken up here by William, who's coming out of the secret room. If this is that same building, then we know that there's a secret tunnel between sister location and that building, and that William is using it, because I guarantee you if it's a secret tunnel, it's matching up to the secret room. William, before he gets spring-trapped, is taking the endo out one at a time, taking them down to sister location to melt them down for the remnant, and coming back for the next one, and the next one. Described as a middle-aged woman with long brown hair? Yes, which means both of her kids would have brown hair too. Like that. Right? So anyways, yeah, so he's taking the endos one at a time down his secret tunnel into sister location, where he can then melt them down somewhere, wherever he's got to melt her down here, to inject them into the fun times, right? So the fun times exist in the, was it 1990 or 87 or whatever, right? So he's done that. When he comes back up, their souls have been released from the endos because the endos have been destroyed. He's taking them. So he's taken their vessels. They are now loose souls again. And I will say this. I do actually agree with Rytos's most recent video where he says that he thinks, and I mean, there is evidence to say that this is actually true, that Crying Child / Cassidy, I will refer to him as Cassidy, that Cassidy is not in Golden Freddy, is not in any suit, and is a free wandering spirit, because his body was not connected to any of the animatronics when he died. So how does Elizabeth have ginger hair / orange hair? Well, if they have Scottish descent, that answers your question for your, that there is your answer. There's your answer. But But also, Elizabeth didn't have red hair. Elizabeth didn't have ginger hair. She was a blonde. Oh, Fnaf. Okay, Fnaf. Can we? Okay, that's Elizabeth for you. She was a blonde-haired, green-eyed girl. When she gets snagged by baby. Yeah. The more you know. See, there she is right there. Blonde hair, green eyes, gets snagged by baby. Baby is a redhead because baby is supposed to look like a clown, and clowns notoriously have either rainbow or red hair. So, boom. That's it. So Elizabeth is blonde. We're not really sure on what Michael and William actually look like. They're described in the books, but not in the games, really. So Cassidy, we know, is brown-haired, because he's right here. He's a brown-haired kid. So I'm guessing that Michael and William are both brunettes. But I bet you Mrs. Afton's blonde, because Mrs. Afton is described as being blonde originally, and then she's given brown hair in a different graphic novel. But she is supposed to be a blonde too. So Elizabeth and Mrs. Afton blonde. The male Aftons are all brunette. There you go on that. So anyways, so that's why I said. But as I was going back to my other thing. Yeah, maybe I'm connecting them both. You might be adding both families together as one. And the person found their hamster. Ooh, that sucks, dude. Anyways, that's just weird, man. I don't even know all that. Anyways. Oh, room B. That's probably the foundry. That's probably where he melts down the animatronics. Anyways, yeah. So this is a Fredbear Family Diner that then gets converted into a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the first location. That clears up everything for everybody, right? That makes it a Fredbear's Family Diner during the bite, but it is in the process of being changed into a Freddy's. Black Fly today, that hurts sometimes, man. So, secret tunnel. Secret tunnel, secret room, adds up to. William Afton doesn't have to break in to the FNAF 1 location after he has fled the scene of his child murdering from the FNAF 2 location. He doesn't have to break into the FNAF 1 location once they've moved the animatronics back, because he can just get into his sister location through his office in his house that he probably still has a key to, obviously. So he goes in through his office, he gets in here, right? And he snatches up the four of them. He starts doing his experiments. He comes back for whatever the missing, whatever loose parts, or maybe he's looking for any of the other endos or whatever, because they might have kid spirits in them too, right? Whatever. He comes back up. He's confronted by the first four ghosts, and from what we can see. Again, this is all speculation. There's no full-on proof yet, but what we can see is that he doesn't seem to be reacting, right? He didn't seem to be reacting to the other four kids' ghosts. He was literally standing right here, basically almost like he was yelling at them, until Crying Child comes in, and then he starts freaking out because, in my opinion, Lolbit is canon to the FNAF story. Maybe he could be a prototype. He could have been a prototype Funtime Foxy, right? But other than that, we haven't seen him in a official capacity outside of FNAF World and I think games maybe. He is technically part of the canon. Blonde hair came from the Fourth Closet's graphic novel, but Elizabeth ends up having brown hair in the graphic novels. Yeah. They do change Elizabeth's hair in the graphic novels, yeah, or in the books, yeah. Which is fine. She doesn't have to. Her hair color doesn't have to be consistent across two different continuities. They also don't have Michael and Cassidy, so Elizabeth being a brunette to match her dad makes a lot of sense in the books to connect those two characters together. But can we count the books as part of the lore as a whole? So James, what you do is you don't take the books one for one. What you do is you take them as like mirror. Some of it's like mirror stories. So say we're missing a piece of information in our game theory stuff, right? And there is similar information in the books. The books can help us maybe fill in the gaps without necessarily saying what the book says is full continuity, but it can be canon. Like in the instance of Phasgoo. So Phasgoo in one story, specifically one story, is um, uh, this liquidy substance that if any part of your DNA gets attached to it, it will create a secondary version of you and then kill you. Obviously, that doesn't happen in the games. That doesn't exist in the games, but it can be an allegory for William Afton snagging somebody and then building a robot version of him, or just Freddy Fazbear Entertainment in itself. And both, but in the book he kills himself before FNAF. In the games he dies after the events of FNAF. Yes, that is, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you can take certain parts of the book, but you don't necessarily say that the book is full on canon with the games, and the games aren't full on canon or continuity with the books. But you can use them to get tidbits. Like, for instance, we know that Henry has a daughter in both named Charlie or Charlotte. We know that William Afton has a kid in both named Elizabeth, but they have other ones. POV, FNAF lore is confusing. It's always confusing, James. It's always confusing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Everyone who is here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't yet. If you guys are enjoying this, if you want to do more FNAF theories with me and stuff like that. But yeah, do you think that before the events of the Twisted Ones, Twisted Chica was dead? That's why we don't see her. It could be. Can you read my theory? Snowy, I will read your theory at some other point. Like I said, I don't pull up the Reddit on stream because it's just a toxic place that I don't want to have any part of during streams. I'll go on there when I'm off stream and look at stuff, but I don't want to bring that up on the stream and expose people to that, because honestly, the nicer we can keep the stream, the better. Like, I will never, I don't like the way people talk to each other in the FNAF theories, so. But I can read your theory. If you have a theory that you want to send to me on Discord or something, I'll definitely read it off camera or whatnot, and all that stuff. If I merit it good, then we'll talk about it on stream. Oh, Lolbit is a glitch. That's my theory. Oh, he might be. I don't know. I'm sorry. I thought you meant you had like a whole ass theory that you would put on like the Reddit or something like that. Lolbit is a glitch. Maybe. But you use the books to complete the gaps in the games. Is kind of what Scott alluded to. And some people are like, well, some of them are just actual continuity. Scott never said they weren't. And it's like Scott clarified in the beginning of his books that he said that books will not be straight continuities to the games, that they will be canon, and that the events are going to be in the multiverse. Like, everything that happens in games, books, or movies are all part of the FNAF multiverse. It's like watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. So Lolbit. I think Lolbit is just a prototype of Funtime Foxy that has like no gender. Yeah. It's like, it has no gender. Right. Possible that blonde hair and dark brown hair could mix into ginger hair. Technically, well, so that's the thing. If we're talking, we're gonna go way off topic when it comes to genetics. So what we're talking about is genetics. There is no genetic mixing that can create ginger hair. Ginger hair is its own genetic marker that passes down, but because it's so recessive, it can spring up at any time, right? Red hair is its own specific. You can't take a brown gene and a blonde gene, put them together and get a red gene. The red gene just exists on its own. So if you have a red-headed descendant some way back in your lineage, you or your descendants will always have that possibility of being a redhead. But there's no way to mix other hair colors together to get a redhead. right? So it's its own specific gene. It's like saying if I took someone who has black hair and someone who has blonde hair and mix them together, they're going to get a brown haired kid. No, brown hair is its own specific genetic marker, also, just like those. So if you have ginger in your family somewhere, you can have a ginger child or grand, like ginger can spring up. But if you don't, you can't. But most of us, most Caucasian people, anyone who is a European descendant, has the chance of ginger because there is a lot of Scottish and Irish descendants in literally everybody who is, pasty, right? But that's it. So I had red hair when he was born. My mom has blonde hair and my dad has black hair. I have brown hair. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my mom has blonde hair and my dad has black hair. I have brown hair. You have brown hair in your family though. Cross is what it is. You have brown hair. Or what about your grandparents? Are any of your grandparents brunette? Any of your great grandparents brunette? Like probably. I would give you a 100% chance that there is somebody with brunette hair in your family. That is very common, Snowy. A lot of kids are born blonde and then become brown or black or whatever. Like how the book shows the illusion disc, or that nightmare might be the only illusion given the sound that comes from his jump scares. So I thought in the books, that the nightmare animatronics were really just one nightmare animatronic. They have black hair? Yeah, so I guarantee you someone in your family has brown hair somewhere in your descendancy. Brown hair is a dominant gene. Black is obviously the most dominant, but brown is a dominant gene. So with all of them being black hair, then that would make sense why you're like a brown all of a sudden, because black hair is the most dominant gene. So black would be the most common hair color that would come out, but brown, red, blonde, they can sprout up at times if they're part of your genes. No, it's true. It's true. I did 3 years of biology and stuff like that, both in high school and college and everything. I had to learn about genetic markers and all that crap and how it works, like especially with like evolution and all that crap. So then we get to the Afton's eye colors. What eye colors? We only know of one Afton's eye color, which is the green eye color of Elizabeth, right? Wait, do we know other people's? They could have blue. It's the same. So that's the same thing. They're just metal endoskeletons, but the illusion deceive the eyes to show what people think the animatronic should appear to them. Yeah. So the nightmare animatronic is the smooth, clear, animatronic shell that doesn't have defining features in the books, anyways. And the illusion discs turn them into the twisted ones. Mike has blue eyes, but this is green eyes. William is described with gray dead eyes, so he has blue eyes too. Okay, so Elizabeth's mom probably has green eyes also, but both green and blue are recessive genetics. So at any point in time, either one can crop up, and they could have someone who has brown eyes or whatnot. Michael has purple eyes at one point, but that's not due to Michael. Yeah, gray eyes are blue eyes. In case anyone was wondering, they are a subset of blue. So, but yeah. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, this. So we have the secret tunnel between Sister Location and the FNAF. The Fredbear's Family Diner turned into FNAF 1 location, where William is stealing the endos. So my theory on this, so people know why I do this or what happened. I don't know. William kind of fits with greenish gray eyes. He might have greenish eyes. He could be doing that too. What up, Killer Void? How we doing? So my theory on this is that the first deaths happen in 83. I know some people say 85, but unless someone can prove me wrong and show me something, I don't remember there being any clarification in the games that the first set, the MCIs, happen in 85. Right? And I mean, no matter what, they have to start in 83 because boom, kid, right here, right? So in my opinion, they happen in 83, and I do agree with Dual Process on the fact that I think Afton So this one's my theory. Fully, I own this one. William kills this one. Either gets annoyed by the kid, throws him in the springlock suit on purpose or on accident, or it's like a joke or something, whatnot. Gets Sammy springlocked, because again, I still believe it's Henry's son. Gets him springlocked. He dies on Animal Crossing. That sounds reasonable. Someone would probably do it. Wasn't there the theory that Mrs. Afton jumps in after Pizza Sim with any games after the... Yeah. That is Ultimate Timeline from Game Theory from Matt Pat. I think he's walked back on that. It just seemed like the likely thing at the time. It may be true. It may not be true. It feels like it may not be true. It feels like Glitch Trap through Vanny may have done it, but that still actually doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm cool with the Mrs. Afton showing up, but then, like, she went from being like, let me get away from all this evil to being like, let me join the evil kind of situation. So it does get kind of weird. But anyways, so this is Henry's son, Sammy. Sammy goes missing because William accidentally kills him and then is able to get rid of the body, blah, 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 blah. Henry, after Sammy goes missing, believes that Sammy was kidnapped, so he creates the first security puppet who will then work in the store with Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, making sure that kids don't get kidnapped. Problem is that William, now after killing this kid, realizes, hey man, killing kids is fun, and I can get away with it if I just put them in suits in the back room and hide them for a while and do it in the building, right? Thank you, man. And so he murks, and then Cassidy gets bit the week later before William can start his murders. Cassidy gets bit, goes into a coma. Now William has multiple alibis, right? Multiple alibis. He puts on the Golden Bonnie suit. Matthew Lillard to see what eye color. Fair, I guess. Fair. I think Scott had final say on who was the actors, so that is fair, I guess, in a way. To confirm, but that would be movie William Afton, who doesn't have to be the same look as game William Afton, is the problem. Remember, not the same continuities. Has a mix of blue and green eyes, yeah. But remember, not same continuity, so technically William can still have, gold eyes, right? So anyways, Sammy dies, puppet gets made by Henry because he thinks his son got kidnapped, not murdered, right? He doesn't know that William did it yet. William uses Gold Bonnie suit, right, to lure kids into the back and kill them. Boom. He kills Susie and Fritz one night, then he kills Jeremy and Gerald the next night, caught on camera. He has alibi. I've been in the hospital with my son. So William's skin is purple. Exactly. Absolutely. So I've been in the hospital with my son who's in a coma. And they go, well, the only other person who could have done it is Henry, because Henry's the only other one that would have had access to the Gold Bonnie suit, unfettered access without anyone knowing better. So they arrest Henry because he's weird. Also, let's be honest, Henry was weird. Henry is neurotic. He's very, like, out there, and this is the 80s. He's weird. In the 80s, you can put a weird dude on blast for being a murderer, and a jury will eat that shit up and assume he's the murderer. So he gets convicted because they can't find the bodies and they can't prove that it wasn't him. So they believe it's him, just like in the books. In the books, they believe it was Henry also. In the books, everybody assumes that it was Henry, not William, right? Except for the police chief, who knew it was William, but they couldn't prove it because they couldn't find the bodies. But everyone else thought it was Henry. They didn't arrest Henry, obviously, because in the books, the police chief's like, it's definitely not Henry. We're not going to do that. So he purposely doesn't take Henry in. But in the games, there's no clarification of that. So in the games, I want to assume that they do take Henry in. Henry gets convicted and is put in jail. Hence the news articles that we get in FNAF 1, right? So that happens in the FNAF 1 location. All those murders happen. Then Cassidy dies, and that causes more grief to William. William inflicts that grief on Charlie when he finds her outside of the pizzeria in the alleyway, locked out by the other kids. He murders her in cold blood, but he doesn't use the Golden Bonnie suit. He doesn't do it the same way as the others because he can't anymore, because that cover-up that cover-up method is gone now because they convicted Henry for doing it, and if he ever uses the gold Bonnie suit again, it would prove Henry innocent, right? So murders Charlie, all these deaths happen, they have to close down the first location. They take a few years off. I think in the process of doing a few years off, William decides that he's going to go back to trying to have his own restaurant again and his own ideas. So he hires Edwin, the engineer that he had used prior to make the Mediocre Melodies. For those of you who don't know my other timeline, I believe that William Afton owned Chica's Party World and had the Mediocre Melodies, and Henry owned Fredbear's Family Diner, and William outperformed Henry, made Henry start to go out of business, and then acquired Henry, and then their businesses merged and created Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, or Freddy Fazbear's Fazbear Entertainment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so now that he had Henry, he didn't need Edwin anymore. Edwin's still doing stuff, doing other animatronic stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then he rehires Edwin, has him create the Funtime animations, because in the years leading up to the restaurant closing, people were complaining about the animatronics acting weird, you know, blood coming out of them and stuff like that, because they tried to stay open for like a year or so after the murders happened, and they were just losing business over like more and more and more, to the point where they eventually had to shut down because the animatronics looked bad. They looked possessed. They acted and looked possessed. No one knew why except for William, because William's the one who killed children and shoved them in the bodies, right? I think Cassidy is in a coma, right? And I think he's in a coma for a while, to be fair. I think he's actually in a coma for a while, right? And I think you deserve more for thank you, Killer Void. I appreciate that, right? Well, make sure you subscribe and tell your friends. Everybody subscribe and tell your friends. There you go. Anyways, so Henry does the puppet. Henry finishes the other animatronics, or they get the other animatronics into the building so that way they're there, because they have to get rid of the golden suits. And that's the thing. So there is this theory, and it works. So here's the thing. There is the theory that this is the simultaneous spring lock failures, that it could be the company claiming that it was retelling. So I would compare the games and books and see the differences to understand what the games lore is showing, since the trilogy is yeah, exactly. So this could be your multiple simultaneous spring lock failures. It's their way of explaining away this happening, instead of having to say, oh no, our animatronics were working perfectly, this kid got munched because the animatronics were working correctly, and scaring people and scaring parents. Parents are more likely to come back. Good night. I need to sleep right at night. Okay, Snowy. All right, have a good night. Timestamp is 1 hour and 23 minutes. If you want to see the rest of the stream tomorrow, go for it. Come back and watch the VOD. Remember, view time helps a lot, guys. Anyways, so they called this Springlock failures. They call this a failure by the machinery. They don't go out and give a official statement saying, no, this was exactly what it was supposed to do. The Fredbear animatronic wasn't in suit mode. No, it was in animatronic. But Cross, here's the thing. They lied. Well, you got to think about it. You have two options with these right here, and what people know about them. You have two options when you go public with the story. You either say everything was functioning correctly, the kid got hurt anyways, or things malfunctioned, we got rid of them, no kids will get hurt anymore. It was an accident. You know, it was a machine malfunction. Functioning normal, that wouldn't have happened, right? There's two things you can say. If you say everything was functioning correctly and kids still got hurt, no one's coming back to your restaurant. No one's trusting your restaurant, because your machine's functioning correctly means kids can get hurt. one machine malfunctioning in a freak accident and someone getting hurt is an issue that can be resolved. You can't resolve your machines functioning correctly and hurting people. You can resolve a machine functioning incorrectly and being removed. So that's my theorizing on that. Having been someone who worked in management for a company, I can definitely see them saying that to the public. Yeah. The spring locks were used for Freddy's, but they never acknowledged Fredbear's. So they say in a sister location. So it does say this. It does say at a Freddy Fazbear. Welcome to. Hold on, that's too far back. Performing a return for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronics and suits. And then later on, where does it say? Where does it say it at? Digital map layout programmed. Hold on. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees. So it does say a single incident at the sister location. So the sister location is Fredbear's Family Diner before it gets turned into a Freddy Fazbear's. Then there's your spring lock failure being the bite of 83. And again, even as an internal memo, they would still lie and claim it as being a failure because they don't want their own associates saying everything was working fine and that kid got hurt. They want their associates to believe that it was a malfunction and an accident, and this is them fixing it so it will never happen again. They're also saying that it was just a specific type of thing. Dared to use the spring locks post Fredbear's closure. They might have, but I don't think they did it at Fredbear. Well, I don't think they. I think they probably did. That's what I mean. Is I think this is Fredbear's Family Diner being turned into a FNAF 1 location, and that these tapes are. Well, where would they even be going? Actually, if no, I'm arguing against myself now because in '83 they wouldn't have other locations yet, right? They just got started. My original thought for the multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures is that this happens later on in time, and that it does happen with the suits, and that they are what creates that these multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, that they are 2 workers both being killed by their suits at the same time, the Fredbear suit and the Springtrap suit. And that creates Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy. That there are 2 workers, and that's why Shadow Freddy will listen to Afton in this situation where Shadow Freddy leads all the other animatronics this way, because he died as an employee of William, so he remembers William being his boss, and so when William tells him to go do stuff, he does it. Oh no, I get that, Cross. That's fine, man. That's fair. If you can give me your interpretation. Post Fredbear, I think they did too. I think that they definitely threw those suits other places until something like maybe this happened. Like I like that interpretation also of it being 2 actual employees who died, and that's why they become the Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie, because they are spirits that aren't attached to endos. They never learned how, and instead they are just taking the forms of the thing that killed them, basically. And that they are just pure agony, because again, the books describe, and this is a Rytos thing too, In Fazbear Frights, the new kid, the spring locks are said to control the animatronics when a person wears the spring lock suit. Yeah, the spring locks are said to control the animatronics when a person wears the spring lock suits. Yeah? The new kid. The spring locks are said to control the animatronics when a person wears the spring lock suit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what's your next part to that? Anyways, so um so I think William used the spring locks to manipulate the animatronics to do his bidding. He could have. Oh, for the golden suits, yeah. For anyone who was trapped inside of the spring lock suits, I guess, yeah, technically. Yeah, well, there. Yeah, ancestor location. There is the one that you're put inside of. I liked. I kind of liked dual process theory's idea that it is the golden Freddy or the Fredbear suit, and that you as Michael get put in the same suit that you accidentally killed your brother through. I like that. I don't know if it fits, but I do like it. Right. And we do know that the animatronics do control the suit even when someone's wearing it, because of the fact of Afton being forced to. Well, yeah. He manipulated the animatronics in the FNAF movie. He does in the FNAF movie, but that's explained differently. He doesn't manipulate the animatronics in the FNAF movie. He manipulates the spirits that control the animatronics in the FNAF movie. He's tricked them into thinking that he is giving them happiness in their afterlife. They don't know that he is the one who killed them. That memory is lost to them, and he has formulated new memories in their head to make them believe that he is supplying them with happy new memories, or with their happiest day, as he continues to call it. So they listen to him because they think that he is in charge and that he is trying to do what's right for them, right? That's why he can manipulate the animatronic. Well, he can get them to do their thing in the movie. It's not because he can control the animatronics. It's because he can control the spirits. And it's the same thing in the books, too. It's not he can control the animatronics. He controls the spirits within the suits. And it's not until Charlie and them show the children by being attacked by William themselves that William is the one who killed them, right? That Michael in the gold suit, in the gold Freddy suit, is able to clarify that to the other dead kids and the other animatronics, and that's when they finally turn on Michael and attack him. But in both cases, he's getting the spirits to do what he wants, not the costumes themselves. I think the Funtime Spring suit is the Jester costume from the Tales books, the costume that was part of Mimic's original story, and in the Tales epilogues. That could be the case. It would make sense that there would be a Jester Springlock suit from the Circus Baby Pizza World place. Yeah, that would make sense. It also makes sense because Edwin's story, part of his story was him turning old suits into Springlock and animatronics. Um, and one of my other theories is that William is the one who burns down Fallfest because he wants full rights to Freddy, and all the other characters, right? So he sabotages Fall Fest and burns it to the ground, so that way he can offer aid to them afterwards to help them recoup some of their losses. He offers them to buy the IPs of all their characters, suits included, that were probably saved from the fire. And some, conveniently, all the character suits didn't burn up in the fire. It's just everything else did. So, because again, my ultimate timeline is that Henry's family is the ones who ran Fredbear's Singing Show and then the Fall Fest. Like, it evolves into the Fall Fest. You get the fact jesters aren't part. Yeah. Jesters are part of fantasy. Yes, I play a lot of I used to play a lot of D&D. I do know the clarification between a jester, a harlequin, and a circus clown, mime, and all the other things. They all exist within the same vein, but they are substantially different. But I mean, as a counterpoint, the daycare attendant is clearly a jester. Yeah. But I mean, the daycare attendant is clearly a jester, so I don't think they care. I mean, granted, daycare attendant is a jester that comes out of a castle, so he kind of fits in a little bit better there. But in the middle of an '80s rock themed megaplex, they have a random castle. Jester could be part of circus slash carnival. So oh god dang it. Okay, so what if in the '80s? What if in the '80s there isn't that much of a distinction between Ren fairs and carnivals? Or actually, it would have been the '70s. So what back in the '70s, there isn't much of a difference between a Ren fair. Yeah, back to fall exactly between a Ren fair and that's what I'm saying. So I think Henry's family owned Fall Fest and owned Fredbear's family Fredbear Singing Show. They profited from it so much that they were able to expand it into Fall Fest and created an entire carnival that lasted for multiple months throughout the year, and that's where they made most of their money, right? And that's where Henry learned to become a mechanical engineer. It's where he learned to love the characters, and eventually he branches out on his own to start a restaurant, or maybe the restaurant already existed, and it was like the thing that they did during the days when in Tales, Bobby Dot, Sun, and Moon originated from the Fazbear Theater as performers. Sun was the hero and Moon was the villain. That would make sense. So yeah, Fazbear Theater, I feel like they originated before then. So they originate way back, right? So they originate way back. So what if Fall Fest is owned by Henry's family, right? And then in '83, the final Fall Fest, William sabotages it so that it burns to the ground, so that way he can buy all the characters from them as like a gesture of good faith to them to help them out after and this would be after Henry has been already convicted and gone to prison. So William, as a good faith to them, in order to help his friend who may or may not be unjustly imprisoned, buys all their characters from them, or the ones that survived anyways, and then proceeds to have Edwin turn those characters into Springlock suits or into animatronics. Because I 100% am going to go forward with the theory that William Afton does not build animatronics himself. Right? But I think William Afton, he's under the branch of the Fazbear Entertainment. But a lot of the things that we see him do post the death of Cassidy is him once again trying to branch out as his own company, Afton Robotics, Circus Baby's Party World. I think he still owns Chica's Circus Baby's Pizza World. I think he still owns Chica's Party World, right? So I think he's still trying to establish himself as a independent company or whatnot, but he's also maybe he's under contract, or he realizes that he can't afford it yet, so he still is running slash working under the board of the Fazbear Entertainment company. Maybe he even sells Fazbear Entertainment in between 83 and 87, right? That's an option that he could have sold the company to like an investment board or like Shark Tank, because that's the thing. That's the other thing that a lot of people don't know about the 80s too. The 80s is the era. 80s is the decade where labor economics kind of fell to the wayside in place of investment economics. That's the point in American history where American economics stopped caring as much about people working and making money off of actually working, and the super rich instead making their money off of owning and investing in businesses whose main goal was to make profits. The 80s is where the Supreme Court case came about, where one company withheld what was it? They withheld increasing labor wages and like other they withheld money from improving the company to instead make sure that their investors made a larger profit, and the workers of the company tried to sue the company for doing that, for putting a larger interest into giving investors money than in improving the company. They tried to sue the company for that, and the lawsuit went all the way up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court ruled, because this was under Reagan economics at the time, they ruled that it is actually the company's first responsibility to make profits for their investors. That improving the company is a secondary responsibility after investors getting their money, which I think is absolute fucking garbage. But it is also when that happened. So this is around the time period in American history where companies were being bought and invested in order to gain extra profits. And so when Henry goes to prison, that could very well be the time where William decides he doesn't want to run it all himself, and he sells the company to an investment group, and they create the board, and that's where we get the board member from Sister Location. That Burntrap has a similar endoskeleton to Springtrap. Yeah, no, Burntrap is Springtrap. Burntrap is Springtrap being burnt, like after he got burnt in Fnaf 3. Burntrap has a similar endoskeleton. The theory that I run with, anyways, is that he was damaged, and he was also trying to fix the issues with the animatronics, because it is said that Springtrap, as an animatronic, had a tendency to move towards children's laughter and stuff to like figure out where people are and make sure that they're where the party is. And there's no clarification whether Fredbear had the same thing. So he went and he fixed up the damage on his suit with some of Golden Freddy's parts, wherever he found Golden Freddy at, right? So he went and found Golden Freddy and fixed up his suit with parts from Golden Freddy, and that's why his snout and his feet look different. They're the snout and the feet from Golden Freddy, from the Gold Freddy suit, from the Gold Freddy Springlock suit, right? But those parts and then some other parts is how he removed that need to move towards the Balloon Boy laugh or whatever it was, the lures that were used in FNAF 3, which I saw one animatic or one animation that was absolutely hilarious from that, where he's like, I'm coming in there, and you're like, no, and the guy's like, no, you're not, and then he gets the Balloon Boy laugh to go off, and he's like, there are no kids in here. He's like, then he hears it, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna look one more time, and then I'm coming in there to kill you, and he like leaves again. Were still used during the Mimic cloning, so I think Model 2 Mimic was used as an AI Springlock to control animatronics on its own. Maybe. That's the thing, is I don't think any of the... Well, here's my thing, is I don't think any of the old animatronics prior to... Security Breach is a different story, but I don't think animatronics before Security Breach era... What up, Sound Zeus? Had connected... communications, like connected computer, like I think they're standalone endos, and so there is no way for you to manipulate. That's why and I think of this because the evidence points to that not being the case. That there is no like overlaying computer system that controls all of the animatronics at one time. That they are all controlled individually. Because again, in both the book and in the movies, William Afton is controlling the animatronics not by controlling them, but by manipulating the spirits inside of them. If they had an overarching computer system where you could force the endoskeletons to do what you want despite the spirits, then he would just use that instead. Now, in the books, they can manipulate wouldn't the toys be mimic clones? No, I don't think so. I think the toys are just that. I don't think any of them are mimic clones. That's the thing. So here's the thing: is I don't think there's actually any evidence of the mimic until they make evidence for the mimic in those games. I think what it is I think the mimic either existed with Edwin or existed with Fall Fest, but I think it was buried and locked away until they acquired everything from both William and from like Edwin or whoever it was. I think the mimic is literally a lost program that just randomly got discovered when they acquired a bunch of stuff, but it all got acquired in like the 90s. So like I think there's like a 20-30 year gap where the mimic doesn't exist because he's locked away because whoever created him, I'm trying to figure out who created the mimic at this point. Like, my theory of Edwin doing the building of the fun times and stuff makes a lot of sense for him also being the one who created the, what up, Beanie, welcome back, who created the Mimic, but they're also tying the Mimic into Fall Fest, which would mean that Edwin couldn't be the one that created it. It would have to be Henry, but by everything that we know, I don't think Henry was sophisticated enough to have built a Mimic back then, to build an AI, an artificial intelligence that can learn, a learning intelligence back in the 70s. Like, I know that there's like a suspension of belief that needs to be used in these games because obviously most of the robotics that exist wouldn't actually have been possible back in the time periods that they're existing in. But it's a farther stretch to say that the Mimic was created back in a festival in the 70s by a man who had to have been probably in his 20s. Like, I like the theory that Edwin created the Mimic for his son, like it is in the books. The animatronics were taught to mimic things that they're programmed to do, so the toys are capable of mimicking their security program. That could be it. It seemed more likely that they just actually had a database in their head, and they might have had an overarching computer system to control them because they were more sophisticated than the other ones. But it seems more like they just had a database in their head, and maybe they updated it like once a week or something like that, and that's what they ran off of. But we also don't know how they actually functioned because, for me anyways, I don't ever believe that we play as a security guard who is actually working while the building that we are in is open. Not even technically FNAF 3, because FNAF 3, it doesn't open before we burn it down. I don't think we've ever worked in a actual up and functioning Freddy Fazbear's. I think we are always working in one that has been shut down, and we are just keeping track of the animatronics overnight. The animatronics probably have some mimic stuff in them. Yeah, exactly. I think the Fun Times have mimic-esque qualities to them because, again, my theory is I want to put the Mimic with Edwin. I want Edwin to be the one who builds the Fun Times for Afton, right? He has built the Mimic to hang out with his son while he's busy working on things, right? I think William wants to acquire Edwin fully, and he thinks the best method to do that is to put Edwin in a financial strain. And as we know, Edwin's son dies, and his company ends up starting to go under, and obviously he kills himself. But I think William gets the Fun Times created. Elizabeth dies to Circus Baby. Can't wait for Scott to pull out the mimic for the animatronic history lore and start mimicking the lore and mimic them with the... Dude, I swear, Scott is going to fuck up so much of my shit, and it's going to piss me off, but it's going to be fun at the same time. But no, I want to put the mimic with Edwin, because it makes sense, right? The story of Edwin makes a lot of sense, but I want the animatronics that he's building to not necessarily be old old suits that get turned into animatronics. I want him to have built the fun times, right? So he builds Baby, not William, right? So for William, the baby isn't his because he didn't build it. He paid for it to be built, right? So he builds for Baby and these fun times to be built because he's gonna start Circus Baby's Pizza World, right? And then Elizabeth dies to Baby. This is his second child that's been killed by an animatronic built by somebody else, right? He wants to acquire all of Edwin's shit anyways, and he wants to make Edwin hurt. Now that Edwin's hurt him, so he's gonna hurt Edwin. So he kills Edwin's child with the gold Bonnie suit because that's his way of killing kids, right? That's his MO. He's emotional. It's set around the 19th. Okay, yeah. So, but I mean, it doesn't have to be. But well, that's the thing. It being created is in the 70s. So maybe Edwin did make it in the 70s. Maybe he did build it in the 70s, and it's been with his child this whole time. You know, and then in the 80s, well, no, because that would make his kid like 15. I don't know. I like my theory though. Like, well, that's the thing in the book, but again, continuity is continuity. You know, in the books, it puts the in the Silver Eyes series, it puts the started his company around the early 70s, 4 years before he built the mimic. Yeah. But that's the books again. The games, it could be he started his company in the 80s and then built the mimic in like 86, and then 87 is when the deaths happen or whatnot. Or you could have built the mimic in like 84, 83, whatever. But the point is that it could have happened at a different point in time than in the books. Just like Into the Pit puts probably the DCI at 85, even though we know it's an 87. Puts the could put the bunch of shits all over the place. The Silver Eyes series puts the missing children incident, or not missing children incident. There is no missing children incident. It is, and it is, you know, we disagree with the book's variant theory, right? Variant, yeah. Tale King, yeah. I agree with that 100%. I do not believe that any of the books are full-on, straight-up continuity. Unless the book literally starts with, this specific book, this specific story is taking place at this specific location, at this specific time, with these specific characters, and everything lines up perfectly with game, I don't believe it's continuity with game. Like, it just changes. Because people like the Tales game's continuity thing is immediately shattered by the very first story. The very first story puts in elements of Fazbear Fright stories that do not exist in the games, and so therefore immediately destroys that full continuity theory. Yeah, interactive novels coming up. I don't think they're of their full continuity either. I don't think that they have a aspect to them that could make them full continuity if we want. Like if they work out, maybe, because technically they're a game, just in novel form. Like, I fully agree with Matt Pat that there is one book and one book only that fully is continuity with the games. That it counts as continuity with the games, and that's the log book. That's the only book that I will 100% say it is one for one in the game continuity. And that's because everything about it makes it so. So that's the only book so far. Even the Freddy Files, the Ultimate Edition, all that doesn't, right? There's things about it that clearly make it not continuity. The books being part of the Freddy Files clear like destroys the fact that the Freddy Files can be a continuity. Like, it can give us information about the books, about the stories, about the games, but it can't be considered full continuity, right? Um, but the logbook, everything about the logbook makes you believe that it is part of Mike's actual belongings when he worked at Fazbear Frights. And that's fine. People can be angry, but but again, I can make the argument. I can give the exact facts that the very first story in the Tales from the Pizzaplex books, the very first story has the heart pendant from the Fazbear Fright story about Eleanor stealing the body of another girl. The heart pendant exists in both those stories, and both of those. So in that Eleanor story is not continuity to the games. That heart pendant is a connecting bridge that proves that the Tales games are not continuity to the games. Like, that is the very first story. Do some of the stories maybe be full continuity? They could, but until they fully, everything in it lines up perfectly with a game, then no. That's just how it is. I don't know what we're going to do with Into the Pit. Into the Pit is going to be the thing that breaks everything. Yeah, for Stitch Line games. But how is that possible? The heart pendant isn't in the games. Like, if anything, that would connect more to the Silver Eyes trilogy than to the game continuity. The heart pendant and Eleanor. Eleanor would connect more to the Silver Eyes series being in the game's continuity. How? Eleanor is described as a completely different looking character than our circus baby. Andrew doesn't exist in the games. Andrew is not a character in the games. There is another version of Andrew, but Andrew himself is not part of the game continuity. He might have an archetype. Like, this could be a Andrew stand-in, but Andrew himself does not exist in the games. So Andrew can't be the continuity bridge, right? And if that's the case, then who is Stitch Wraith in the games? Where is Stitch Wraith in the games? Are we gonna say that Ennard is Stitch Wraith, or that Ennard is the Mimic? Because the Mimic doesn't exist in the games until Security Breach, right? Hell, it doesn't exist until Ruin, technically. It's that people think Andrew's lore matches up with UCN's Vengeful Spirit. It does, but that doesn't mean that they are a direct correlation. Again, it's a character archetype. Like, that's the thing. Andrew's lore, because what they're not looking at his lore, they're looking at his archetype. They're looking at the fact that he is a child that was abusively killed by William and is now vengeful towards him, makes his character suffer even after he should be dead. And that's an archetype of a character, not a history of a character. Like, there's a difference. Those are defining aspects to his character, and Sammy or Dave or whatever the fuck this kid's name is has a similar archetype. He was murdered by William, in this case on accident, probably in a very damaging way. Andrew doesn't possess any animatronics, but rather follow William after him, but keeping him alive for eternal. Yeah. So there again, that can't. Then this is wrong, because then they're not then they are not a continuity bridge, because Andrew, if any spirit is the wandering spirit that's not inside of an animatronic, it's Cassidy / Crying Child, and the kid in Golden Freddy is the vengeful spirit, right? The follow victim theory? I don't know what the follow victim theory is. No, go ahead. Let me know that. What up, Alex? Yeah, I don't know the follow victim theory. What is the follow victim theory? FV? We have an FV now? That's the thing is, I think people need to quit trying to over. I am fully 100% in agreement that the books are going to help us. I am not in agreement that the books are going to be the full solution. I think the books get to be the glue. What are you up to? We're up to. We are sorry for not talking, but I need to go sleep. Oh no, tomato, good. You can hang out as long or as short as you want to, man. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. You can just chill and listen. It's all good. What are you up to? We are solving all of the Fnaf theory, all of the Fnaf lore, everything. We're solving all of FNAF, right? um, essentially, right now we're just bitching about how hard it is to solve FNAF, um, which is understandable. Theory where bite victim spirit follows Michael wherever he goes and doesn't possess any animatronics. So I don't. Yeah, no. That's horse shit. I'm gonna be honest. It's horse crap because it doesn't explain anything. If anything, it unexplains a lot of other things that we have already come to believe or we've come to have figured out already, right? I think the more solid story for the whole follow victim or whatever, or for Sammy to be fucking with Afton so much in the afterlife, is the fact that Burn Trap is using go. Well, I'm gonna go. Are you? Oh, do you have to actually go? Cross, you do that in such a way that it makes me feel like I'm saying something you don't like, and so you just leave. When you say "Welp, I'm gonna go," it makes me feel like you're just like, I don't want to listen to this guy tell me I'm wrong, so I'm gone, or I don't know, or I don't want to hear something that I don't agree with, so I'm gonna leave. On stream for about 3 weeks now, I think. But like, I've been part of the FNAF theorizing community for years, just never talking to people about it until recently. But no, the follow victim theory, I think what's better. I think a better theory is that what we see is Burn Trap has attached pieces of Golden Freddy to him. I have different opinions because I see doubts. No, dude, you're fine. I don't care if you have different opinions. That's fine. I just if you gotta go because you gotta go, that's cool. But if like you don't agree with what I'm saying and so you're just like I'm out, like that's a different story. If you have evidence for what you believe in, give it to me so that I can see it. But just saying like follow victim, a theory where bite victim spirit follows Michael wherever he goes and doesn't possess. Do you have like evidence for that? Like, is there things that can prove that to be true? Because we do have evidence for the reason that Sammy or whoever it is on his ass. Oh, just want to get some sleep. All right, man. If you gotta get some sleep, go get some sleep. That's what I mean. It's just the way that you say "Welp, I'm gonna go" just makes me feel like you're like, okay, we're at a point where I don't agree with you. I'm just gonna leave because I don't want to listen to you anymore, kind of situation. But no, but yeah, no. If you got proof for your theory, absolutely give it to me. That way I can see it. And like I said earlier, if your shit is better than my shit, then that changes my mind, and I have one less door that's open, and I can, better narrow down my target. Look up Sire Squawks, by the way. I keep hearing. Yeah, you said something about that earlier. I gotta check that out. It better be good. It better be compelling. Let me see. Sire Squawks. All right, let's get in some Sire Squawks. Having a good day? Awesome, Alex. That's awesome, dude. That's good, 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 good.
So before I really get
Uh, Molten MCI mini theories by Charlie Stuff the Kids. You said it was a live stream? Oh, to the logbook. Okay. Probably not. Okay, so this is what you were talking about. Okay. Oh, this is 2 hours. I'm not gonna listen to all of it, obviously. I am having a good day. Yeah.
I throw it right as I started up the live stream. All right. Okay. Time to let people know the stream exists. I forgot how it. That part's really interesting because special features aren't talked about that often. Uh, I mean, in
You may
FNAF 2,
find
we had
friends
the
for the
toy
kids that want
sensors.
to.
In FNAF 3, they mentioned that the spring locks like go to where I mean they're special double suits, whatever. However, this grid is so weird to me because that has nothing to do with this question. Why is there a grid when it should just be
I'm
two
having a
blank
good day.
pages?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, remove that.
Well, there is a giant horizontal grid that has something over in this corner. Behold! It doesn't matter which blueprint. Any of these will do. All of the blueprints are the same for what I'm getting at here. In the bottom right corner, you have D. D does not matter other than the fact that it is the fourth option, the fourth special feature. Once again, it is in the bottom right corner, right where this is, in a horizontal grid for the blueprints.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Awesome.
let's write
Yes.
that
Yes, it
down.
is.
The fourth special feature. So that is 5, 4.
You get
All
a
right.
J.
Because, like I said,
Okay.
that's the only grid that's a horizontal wide grid that has anything to do with special features. In fact, what is it? What is this written as? Okay, it doesn't have. There's no like descriptor. So that's weird. So that gives us our first letter J. I'm. By the way, this is going to be dumb. This is
Just
not
being on
like,
vacation, hanging out,
no
doing
one's
not
gonna be
much.
confident this is the correct answer by the end of this. Just let me cook with this, and you'll see how I got here. Because at the very least, this is going to be entertaining. So next question. Make your workplace feel at home. What decorations can you add to your desk to make your special place feel more cozy? Well, here's something interesting. JJ is in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, implying this is connected to FNAF 2 somehow. You know what's interesting? An interesting mechanic in specifically FNAF 2. No other game. The only game up to this point JJ was really in at all other than FNAF World, but everyone was in FNAF World. Let's boot up FNAF 2 for whatever. Oh boy. I did go mad. I finally went. This is my insanity art. Shut up. Shut up. No music. Shut up, FNAF 2. Doesn't matter what level we go to.
We watching. I'm watching this guy try and solve the Foxy grid in the logbook.
Look, it does not matter what level. This is on every single night as soon as you do it. Every time you beat a challenge, you get a little thing on your desk. Every single time, without fail. Let's go back to the title screen because here's something interesting about that factoid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 challenges in this thing. 10 challenges in FNAF 2. I don't even need this. I was going to pull this up in case I needed to show more off, but I don't think I do. So 10, and then our tally mark for the page is 10. So there are 10 reward plushies specifically to decorate our desk. So we go down here. That gets us Y. 10, 10. Let's move on to the next one. It's interesting. Yeah. This one specifically is the page that says, "Do you remember your name?" Well, ain't that interesting? That's the puppet. And you can't see it in this screen grab I took, but it asks the question, reflect on the happiest day of your life. So there are 14 tally marks there. It's 5 and then 9 spaced out, but for the sake of this, it's 14. Let's boot up good old FNAF 3. It literally does not matter what level we go to in FNAF 3, Happiest Day is always active.
Okay. Are you going to leave? I will in the next like 20 or 30 minutes, yeah. But we're watching. I'm trying to watch this and trying to see what he's getting at here.
I forgot. Well, I'll just show it because I have the screen grab available. We pan over here. There are 6 kids on this final screen. The happiest day. This is the moment in the scene.
Oh, you leave? I mean, I'm going to eventually, obviously.
5, 6.
But yeah.
5, or no, it's not. It's 14-6. I was really worried that I just broke my own code, but no, it's 14-6.
Okay. Always been something that's bothered me since the Princess Quest ending is canon. Then how come Chica and Monty are both destroyed? You could get the ending without destroying one of them. I'm watching this on VR. So I actually have so yeah, you can, but do you still have to destroy them in order to get out? You're watching this on VR Killer? That's weird, dude. I don't know. I haven't played Security Breach through to know the specifics on it. But yeah, for Ruin to be Ruin, I don't know. Is there even a way? There's a way in the normal endings, right, for you to kill Chica and Monty and well, break them, destroy them, basically, right? One. But what up, Life? How you been, man? Welcome in. That's a really good question. There's got to be something. There's got to be some reason, right? But I'm not sure what the reason is. But I'm sure there's an explanation for it. 3.
Point is, there's 10 challenges. Right? 10 challenges. 10 thingamabobs. You can count the fucking fan if you want. I don't care. I mean, I should care, but this is already dumb, and I don't think anyone's gonna be like, this is the correct answer.
Mess me up because you could destroy both Chica and Roxy and get the Princess Quest ending without taking out Monty, vice versa with Chica. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can. Yeah, Alex, what are you counting about? I don't know, man. Yeah, that is the thing, but I guess I don't know. But can you do both? Can you take out all 3 of them and do the Princess Quest? I think so. So in that one, in that instance, Life though, you have to go with. It may be possible, but is that the likely scenario? And also, in order for Ruin to be like, so it's a game thing, right? Unless, are you watching this on a computer? I am watching this on a computer. Yes. If in order for Ruin to work and them not have to do a bunch of extra coding to like have it read your system and figure out which ending you had gotten, and you can only have one save, so you can only have, they have to do a bunch of extra work to make it to where Ruin would be played with you only having destroyed one of them. Instead, what they do is they create Ruin with the concept that all of the animatronics have been ruined by you before you left. As more of like it's harder to make the game specific to what you did, and more just generally, some people obviously didn't take out Monty, some people obviously didn't take out Chica, but we're gonna pretend like you took out everybody. Would have water and was putting those numbers down. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's all it is. It's just a game. It's a game mechanic that they have to do. They have to assume. They have to make it like everybody got ruined, so that way it would make sense for people playing. Because you don't want to go in and be like, well, I destroyed Chica, so why is Chica fine? Because Monty's broken. Or I destroyed Monty, so why is Chica broken? That kind of situation. So instead, they just go, everybody got broken.
Actually, Grassmaster, I can show how to make a sprite. Anyway, this one's the simplest one. Make a schedule. 5, 5, 5, 5. It's placed right next to 5.
JCEY.
That one's the easiest one.
Okay.
That one makes sense, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is what we were supposed to get for this. This one's the dumb one. This one is, I you're going to all be lost as of now. This is the part where you're going to be like, nope, you didn't actually find the name. 5, right here, upper center. This is specifically talking about pretend you're an architect and design the optimal layout for a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So this is talking about a layout. So by the rest of the logic, they stand out to everything else here.
I just think it's weird continuity wise. Well, yeah, it's just one of those things where you have to suspend your belief for that one, because game design wise it had to be that way. I mean, I'm sure if they could have, they would have made it to where it would understand that but you got to think about Ruin. In the aspect of Ruin, they would have to completely do the game a second time essentially and create an entire system where one of those animatronics aren't damaged for your entire playthrough of Ruin. And that's just too much. That's too much for a DLC. Instead, it's just, hey, you broke both of them before you came down, before Cassie came down here. My little brother was okay, Alex, that's cool. I don't care why you were doing. I was just asking why.
What is up here? Well, this is something else. Let me.
Yeah.
I think I had. Yeah, I did. I didn't send this away. So let's find. You can see that every time we have a splash page.
Mm-hmm.
For the knights in this, you can see it's the Fnaf 3 office. You can see the box of characters. You can see the giant window. You can see the tile grid all the way across.
Yeah.
This is right there. Pretty much every time we get a knight splash screen in this entire logbook, it is Fnaf 3's
office. Yeah.
So the office we are in the logbook, whatever experience, whatever you want to call it, is Fnaf 3's. For context. Because that's why I picked this specific one, because I was trying to mitigate and manage any cherry picking. I didn't want
11:32 p.m. for you. It is like 2:32 for me. Yeah, 2:32.
So that's going to get us to here. Let's check what is at the top center of Fazbear Frights. Cam number 9. Remember, it is, hold on, tally mark 5, right at the top of the map. If you were laying out Fazbear's Frights here, it would be right here. Or this would be the thing that would be there.
Look if Steel Wool did it to where Ruin would follow which animatronics he did or didn't destroy. Yeah. So imagine playing that, but like, where's the bite of 87? FNAF 2 location.
Well, so I could record some B-roll for something, but that's beside the point. So 5, 9, A. Like I said, this is the part.
Hey, thank you for the sub, JR Gaming. I appreciate it. Trying to get to that 500 number, guys. We're at 478, I think. 479. If you guys haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you guys do. 478. Jace?
It's an answer. Like, the consistency is almost there. Jace is in fact a name.
I'm not mad at you. I don't know why you would be mad at me, Alex.
Be like, nope, this is dumb. No one's going to take this seriously. Jace is a name.
Why do you keep putting the time in chat, though?
Pull up. Name. Hold on. Name. Jace is a religious name.
And healer, cure, the Lord and
Healer,
Lord
the cure, the Lord of salvation. all of the Afton kids have religious names.
Patrick, what are you doing, Alex?
I.
Explain to me what's going on.
It's weird. This fits the name format. But yeah, no, I don't think anyone's going to be convinced on this.
No, no, not really, no.
I'm just frustrated that I got close to this.
I think it's so I get it, and it does work out to be a name. That's true, but honestly, you can take okay, Alex. I'm not mad at you, but I am gonna remove you. Okay. Yeah. Is that what I do? Okay, there we go. There you go. Just gonna go ahead and remove you from talking. There we go. So, anyways, I mean, I'm not mad at it, but there's just I don't know, like Steel Wool is confusing, but this was made by Scott, and I feel like Scott wouldn't be this complex, right? Like it's a big jump from what we did with the word search to what he's doing with the Foxy grid. Like that's a huge jump, right? In order to do this, like he's having to go into multiple games and make multiple connections that would like acquire so much jumping around thinking that I mean to be fair, this could be it. Like this could be Scott's solution, and it's just that complex. It could be. Does it feel like it should be? I don't know. I guess it depends on how smart Scott thinks we are. But I mean, obviously, this guy's gonna have more solutions than just this one. I don't think he's gonna have a 2 more hours of him just explaining Jace over and over again, right? But maybe I don't know. But let's keep watching for now.
What is at the top of the layout?
Yeah. I feel like there's just too much going on here. It just seems too convoluted.
I mean, I'm just waiting for like chat to roll and read some interesting points. It could be. I don't think it is.
Okay.
But the logic is there.
There's something there. But it's rough. That's rough, buddy.
Maybe Jace is the bite victim. It is a male name specifically. JC is also technically an option out of this. So there is. I would be more confident in this if this was in order. Actually, let's check. Let's have a bit of fun. If we can find in Phasma, is there anyone named Jace? Like, has this name appeared?
No.
Full text. Doot. I don't remember this name appearing, but we can quickly check. Nope.
I say I'm pretty sure no. I've never heard of a Jace in the series, in any of the series, at all. So,
Nope.
Gonna jump.
Oh, they're like around FNAF 3 or like right before FNAF 3 or like mid FNAF 3. It is not Charlie. Charlie can see. Golden Freddy can see.
Golden Freddy can't see. There's nothing that states that Golden Freddy can see.
Anywhere. He has blinking white glowing eyes.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. Cassidy is the only one that can't see. But Cassidy is also a wandering spirit that's not inside anything. I do believe in the single spirit thing. I think he's a an entity that's just wandering, right? I don't think he's attached to Golden Freddy or attached to anything. Um, so
I'm just sorry. It's just not. If you've read the logbook, you understand that these are two different characters talking.
yeah,
Why would Charlie's name isn't anywhere in the logbook?
yeah.
Why would it be
What up,
Charlie?
Goofy Goober? Do something here. I want to see something. Can I get FNAF logbook PDF? I want to look at everything, right? Can I expand this? Not in that way. One page view. Okay, that's gonna be helpful. Right. Uh, hey, what is up? Hey, Strider, you don't need it. I got it. No, you're good, man. I want to look at it myself. Okay. So I want to see. Okay, you're going to design a new animatronic friend for the kids. What special feature might it have? And then there's 5 down here, and this is what page? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if it's just 5, 9, right? So I want. I know you do. That doesn't matter. I want it in my. I want it in front of me, dude. Like, yeah, I want it in front of me. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's the thing. But here's the thing. Here again is the same problem that we're having. The, the. Yeah, yeah. The thing is again we have to go. The problem is the explanation on why Mike is able to give either of these kids their name. Well, we know why Mike can give Crying Child his name, right? We know why he can do that. He can do that because he's Crying Child's brother, right? But why can he give clues to the other kid's name too? 30, 31, and then this is 39, which makes 39 for that. Casual bongos. 39, 35, 39 is down here also. 40, 41. Nightmare Freddy. Yeah. But why can he give it to both of them? Just dropped in. What up, Martian Whale? How we doing? But why can he give the name to both kids? Well, who would be the other kid? Is it the stuff? Yeah, it's the stuffed one. So that's the thing. It's like, why would Michael? But why? But would Michael know that? Oh, there's something there. What is that? Yes. Would he? But why would he? That's the question. Why would he know it? Also, why is this cut off some? It's annoying. Should be CC that does it. But what about the other kid? There's 2 kids, right? There's both of these kids. Both of these kids are in the logbook. Faded text, altered text, right? Okay, so if only CC knows the name of the other kid, then why is it Michael who would be giving the hints? Then we got 7-2 here. Then my name. And we got 7-2 as the altered text. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Is how is he giving the name for both kids? I could see him giving the name for CC because that's his brother. But why would he be able to give the name for Crying Child? I mean for Crying Child. I 100% believe Crying Child is Cassidy. and that we're trying to get the name of Vengeful Spirit, right? But we need to figure out, right? So we have this right here, and I wish I could mark on this, but I can't. I wish I could download this and mark on it, honestly. But yeah. Well, I could do this. Hold on, I can do snipping tool. There it is, snipping tool. I thought I had down. Oh, I do have snipping tool down here. Yeah, snipping tool right here. New. You can go here. Take this. Take the whole thing. Yeah. So we have that, and then we can file, save as. We can make a no. You go down into stream crap. Then I make a new one. Fnaf Theory stuff. Open. Go in there. This is word search. Word search. Here we go. And I can do this. Come over here. File. Open. Oh, theory shit. I forgot that's in pictures, but okay. Stream crap. Fnaf Theory. Boom. Open. Don't save. Okay, open you. Oh, 300% was a little big, right? 200%. So you get constantly the it's me's everywhere. And then you have the who are you over here. That's alter text. Jason is canon name because it is his son for pick. We need to figure. Wait, no. What about the Andrew bullshit? I don't see. That's the thing is I don't think it's Andrew. What is your name? I think it's Sammy, but I want to try and figure if I can figure it out. And then the Fnaf log book word search because I don't have to go through and get all the clues myself if I don't have to. Right here. So it's C here. I here. S here. A here. Y here. D here. Wait, where's the other S? C A S. Where's the other S at? Oh, there. Okay, it's this S right here, and then this S right here. Yeah. I might try to look for you. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so there it is. So there's Cassidy right there, right? In room 1280 was meant to help explain the events in the games, but Andrew isn't canon to the games, right? Exactly. So it's not so his name's not Andrew, but it gives us an idea of what's happening with the Vengeful Spirit thing. Is that like this is a canon event? This is something that happens in the books, and so there can be a mirror image of it in the thing. Trying to do a quick look for you. I have the book. I know you do. You've told me, which I appreciate it. So there's the word search one, right? Okay. Now what I want to do also is, where is it at? The Foxy Grid. The Foxy Grid is the tricky one. We're not going to solve it tonight because, to be fair, I'm going to be done in like 10 minutes. Where's my Foxy Grid at? Here's the Foxy Grid right here, right? I'm going to get the Foxy. Go here with it, right? Save as Foxy Grid. It's in the Foxy Grid. We go here, file, open, Foxy Grid. I do save that, yeah. Foxy Grid. Nope, it just makes it wider. Okay, so Control Z. I'm gonna do instead What was it? It was somewhere. Is it on the font? Yeah. So these first ones say A, B, and C, right? It's A, then B, and then C. There. So oh yeah, we can text. Oh yeah, we can type. Yeah. C, D. The hell? Hello? Where's my mouse? Okay, there's my mouse. That made it really big. Hold on, I want you to be smaller. I need the font to be smaller. How small can I make the? Oh, in word, I'm not looking for word search. I guarantee you his name's not gonna be in word search. What is happening? Why are you having issues in this? Yeah, why are we having issues in Paint right now? Why is Paint not responding to me? Super weird, right? 8. Hold on, I gotta actually, yeah. No, let's make you even smaller. 6. 6 look like. Nope. 6. Okay, yeah. So 6. Then we gotta move the whole thing. We gotta move this. Hold on. So you don't exist. Okay, that doesn't work anymore. Home. Erase. Oh nope. Okay, that's not how we do that. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So then we go to you again, right? All of that, right? Cool. And then we move this to a 6, right? Go A, B, C. Will tab work better? Oh, tab. Yeah, tab would probably work actually. D. Hold on. What's happened? Why does it keep freezing up? That makes. Hey, what are you doing here, bud? Yeah, D. D. Yeah, D. Didn't he redo you again? Okay. Let's go back. Okay. A. Evan is meant to refer to. Evan is not a name in this. No, Tales is not canon. In my opinion, Tales is not canon. The very first story of Tales makes it not continuity. Vengeful Spirit Face and Susie's. Because that's just what he wanted to give us. What is happening? Wait, what? Oh, no, transparent. I want it to be transparent. Why am I not getting what? Delete everything. Go back. Hold on. Thought the Mimic stories were canon at least. They can't. So I don't personally subscribe to any of it being fully continuity. Canon, yes. Continuity, no. I think everything is up for debate, and that nothing can technically be declared. Oh, 478. Yeah, thank you. Cool. We're at 478. We are 22 away from hitting our goal. Okay, go to home. I'm gonna do a new box. New text box. Please don't fuck up again. Really annoying when you do. Okay. Now go to a 6. Alright, cool. There we go. A space space. B space C space space. E space. E space. F space. G H I. Gonna take a while. J K L M. Theory crafting for you. N O P Q R S T U V W W X. I wonder if someone's already done this. Hold on. Is it Fox? It would be funny. A Foxy grid that's filled out already. One's pretty close. I might just keep. Could be. It could be possible. That would be a Scott troll and a half. To be fair. C A E E E E E. Like how they all stay together in one direction but move together in another direction. Okay. D V W X Y Z. I just go. C G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T V W X Y Z. No, they stayed in order. So again, F O P Q V W X Y Z. Foxy, you do the numbers inside. Yeah. What if in the 8-bit Foxy you do the numbers inside? Down where Foxy is. Go to here. Oh yeah, what's inside here? Oof, that would be even more rough. I wanna go back to. No, are you telling me that I can't go back to this one? Hold on. Undo. Damn it! I did all that work and then I fucked it up. I hate this so much. Kill me. Someone take me out. From when you draw the 8-bit. I don't know, man. From when you draw. Oh, when you draw the 8-bit. I don't know. Use the grid below to convert Foxy into an 8-bit graphic. Oh, because you can. Yeah, because you just take what he's already got and you just redo it, but in like simple colors. Like you do like yeah, like a square, like brushes, and like a mark. Well, not the marker. Like there you go. There's this one block. Like, oh wait, that's way off anyways. So undo that block. But yeah, you go like, okay, here, here. So there's your first square of him, and then you go here to all the way to over here. So all of this, them colored in. Like that. Yes. Hey, the Sammy theory is winning so far. Yeah, right. For me, it's winning pretty good. For him to an 8. Anyways, I think it's time. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get done for the night anyway. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. We'll work on it some more tomorrow. I like the Sammy theory. I wish I could figure out a way to like prove it through this. But God, this sucks. Trying to do like the whole alphabet thing in here. See ya. Bye guys. Peace.